My biological daughter kept holding the suitcase tightly, screaming and insisting on me. This adopted daughter must be his sister-in-law. I was stunned to hear that. The powder-mouth asked again, "How can you be my sister-in-law?" "No way. You can't marry our brother," the girl stuttered. But then I interrupted her horrified words, like nothing happened. She looked at me for a few seconds and then said, "But your brother is behind you." Just then, my brother's gentle voice caressed my ears. "You can run away, but you can't escape this family register." Lately, everyone in the house has been very strange. First, my mother cleaned up a room, bought a lot of furniture, and looked at the layout. She knew it was for a girl. Second, Dad is no longer obsessed with teasing birds all day long, but meticulously grooms himself as if he were about to receive an award. The strangest thing is my brother, James. He often looks at me absent-mindedly. Sometimes when I talk, he can't hear me, as if he's daydreaming on cloud nine. I thought James was going to get married. Anyway, my brother had an unforgettable first love, and because of pursuing her, he went abroad for 3 years and only returned for 2 months. After returning home, Hestel seemed to be unfamiliar with the domestic environment, and his complexion was still a bit poor. Mom pulled me to sit down and asked nervously, "Emily, I'm just saying, if a girl came to live in the house, would you be uncomfortable? I'm afraid I don't like it." My mother added, "That girl is about your age. We want to take care of her, okay?" 20 years old? My thoughts suddenly became chaotic like a storm. Did James get dumped by my ex-girlfriend abroad? After 2 months back in the country, I met the true love of my life. Am I that anxious to marry her? I didn't dare to think further. If I thought any further, I was afraid that my good image of my brother in my heart would collapse. "Mom, she just passed the legal age of marriage." "James," I tried to suppress my pain, gritting my teeth. "Is James that anxious?" Mom froze. My father spat out a mouthful of tea. James appeared to be calmly playing with his phone, but he swallowed it back, hiding his guilt. When confused, people often appear busy. I sighed to myself. "You know everything," all 3 people said in unison. "You know everything?" My mother frowned slightly, her face extremely tense, asked me directly, "So what do you think?" "Well, I find it confusing. Is it now popular for an older brother to ask his younger sister's opinion before getting married?" I immediately replied, "Think it's fine." My mother breathed a sigh of relief, smiling and saying, "Mom and Dad will always love you, and my older brother James also loves you." I tilted my head to face James, which seemed to contain a heavy feeling hidden deep in the depths of his eyes. His voice was gentle, softly saying, I will always love you." I anxiously spread my hands out, happily asking, "Where is she?" "Where's the photo?" James handed me the phone. I glanced at the photo on the screen and gasped in surprise. "I know this person. Isn't this Olivia, the regular on the university's confession board?" I couldn't help but raise my eyebrows and look at James meaningfully. "Sure is my brother. Ha ha ha, just one move and already captured the goddess in the hearts of thousands. Olivia like a lively fawn, the number of people who are moved by her is not small, including my best friend William. After knowing that Olivia was going to move to my house, William the peacock got this and jumped around excitedly, preparing to come to my house tomorrow to show off his feathers. Don't you ask me why she has to come to my house? William finally used his brain. Right, I hooked my arm. He leaned closer. What is so mysterious? Because she is my future sister-in-law. That night, there was a boy who quietly broke down. William muttered, "Am I a lowly brat? Emily, your horoscope. Are you strong?" I hit him on the shoulder and told him to go away. The next day, the parents stood at the door, breathing deeply and nervously, waiting for James to pick her up. Olivia naturally put her arm around him. James tilted his head to look at her, his eyes filled with affection. It found these 2 people really looked like a married couple. Her parents came forward and gave Hera a warm hug. Good to go, I also prepare gifts. It was a piece of jade that my mother had prayed for at the temple a month ago. It is a pair with James's. I smiled at Olivia. "Olivia, do you remember me?" Olivia smiled charmingly, his voice soft. The anti-counterfeit lucky charm on the board confessed. James. James's eyes darkened slightly at this moment. As I observed, his mood was not very good. Every time I say something to my sister-in-law, he gets jealous. What a jealous miser. Mom curiously asked what gift Emily gave. I opened it, and my mother's expression changed slightly. She closed the box and took out another round jade bracelet. This is for safety. Don't take it off carelessly. Everyone in our family has one. Or I miscalculated and quickly thought of a way to make up for it. I leaned closer and asked James in a low voice, "What flavor of cake does Olivia like?" James gently raised her eyelids and pinched my cheeks. "I don't know. You asked her? I can't believe it. Your future wife doesn't know what she likes?" I pouted at him for a few seconds. "You are such a bastard." William, although not present, is probably secretly crying at home. I texted him. "Not coming?" He answered curtly. "Are not. So stubborn." Just then, a shadow loomed over me. I tilted my head and saw James's indifferent eyes. The sparkling light in it reflected my face. "I'm happy. Emily." He gently stroked my hair, his tone no longer gentle as usual but containing undeniable oppression. "You are not my biological sister. I am very happy." My mind suddenly went blank. "What did you say?" The air was still for a long time, long enough for his mind to finally shift. A strange emotion flashed in his eyes. "You said you knew," I thought. "You agreed." James took out his phone, opened the photo album, and showed me a photo. It was an appraisal report, on which were written the names of Olivia and my dad. The appraisal result was father and daughter. Only now did I finally understand that all of this was just my imagination. It turns out the truth is much more bloody than I thought. I breathed heavily. "So, where are my biological parents?" James's eyes were as deep as an abyss, and he said softly, "They are still alive, but their family situation is not good. Olivia has suffered a lot. I couldn't swallow dinner tonight. After dinner, I felt like I didn't eat anything. I lay on the bed and let my tears roll down. I know that Olivia's family situation is not good. She works part-time at a milk tea shop, in school. Last time, because her allowance was robbed, she hid in the music room and cried silently. I accidentally caught her. Then the more I thought about it, the angrier I got. I went to find that scheming girl and scolded her. But Olivia did not know about this. Then I sneaked out to see her. Olivia received the subsidy, smiling brightly and especially beautiful. Beautactually, she should be pampered like a little princess, and the one who really needs to receive the allowance should be me. In addition to this sadness, I also feel very guilty. I have enjoyed Olivia's life for so many years and have ruined the love of my parents and brother. Isn't that very unfair to her? The next day, I looked for Olivia to ask about his biological parents. She looked hesitant. "Emily, they did it on purpose." At first, Olivia did not understand why parents often beat and scolded her. It wasn't until an eavesdropping incident after graduating from high school that she learned that she was actually swapped at birth. The Grace's family had no right to give birth in the same hospital as the Benjamins' family because the Grace family had evil intentions, taking advantage of a relative, working in the maternity ward to perform the swapping. The purpose was to let their daughter establish a deep relationship with the Benjamin family, and also to threaten the Benjamin family to get money to ransom her biological daughter. Anyway, it's all about money. I'm shaking with anger. That couple is really worse than animals. But I immediately found the problem, so how did you get found? Olivia's eyes were as bright as the Milky Way, just like a star. He found me. That day he went to pick you up. On the way he accidentally met me. Maybe it's because of the bond between siblings? When I felt strangely familiar, he recognized me immediately. I remember 2 weeks ago that was the only time. James left me hanging without saying a word. I always blindly relied on him, so I waited for a long time. It was so long that I missed lunch and my stomach was growling uncomfortably before he picked up the phone. James's voice sounded a bit agitated, but I didn't pay much attention at the time. "I just forgot to reply to your message. You should call a taxi first. I will bring you a small cake when I get back." My disappointment was dispelled by a small piece of cake. James looked at me with a look of affection and chuckled. "I'm really too easy to coax." It turns out that he went to pick up his sister at that time. That's right, James is such a sister-crazy person that he wouldn't dare to show me any face if I asked for stars in the sky. It is just that his favoritism will no longer belong to me in the future. Although my parents didn't chase me away, I really have no reason to stay here anymore. But I didn't expect that, while I was packing, James happened to bring me fruit juice. He gently knocked on the door. I didn't have time to hide my things, so I could only cover my suitcase with a blanket. But James understood me too well. He guessed my intentions with just one glance. He raked out to stroke my head, his tone seeming even more indulgent than before. Emily, we all love you very much. Don't go, okay? I was captivated by his eyes, as if possessed by a demon, nodding in agreement. Later, somehow, the news that I was not blood-related to the James family spread. At a party, Selena, who had secretly loved James for many years, invited me. She really loves James. She initially approached me to ask me to deliver a birthday present to him. The Benjamin family and the Vale family were in a relationship. She sincerely tried to please me, saying that she wanted to be my sister-in-law and also asked me for help. I conveyed her intentions. James went to see her once. The content of the conversation must not have been very pleasant, because after that, for some reason, she held a grudge against me. Every time she looked at me, her eyes were like looking at something dirty. Selena was sarcastic and insinuating. I am a cuckoo occupying a magpie's nest, meaning that the female lead had no blood relation and was therefore unworthy. Saying that even if I fly to a high branch, I cannot change my fate as a sparrow. I did not want to pay attention, turned and left. But just then, a glass of red wine spilled on me, wetting my white evening dress. A chill ran down my spine, and I turned around to see her about to throw away the second glass. William managed to block the glass of wine from staining his high-class suit. His face is cold as money, always valuing bloodline like that. No. Wonder she looks stupid because of incestuous marriage. Olivia walked too. She was not yet familiar with, but she still resolutely threw the glass of wine over. Although she was not good at this aggressive behavior, her tone was firm. Emily, surnamed Benjamin, do you think all of our Benjamin family members are dead? I looked intently at Selena. My back suddenly felt warm. A familiar scent enveloped me. It was the characteristic scent of James. He put his vest over my shoulders and ran his hand through my loose hair. Is it not fun? I shook my head. No problem. James' hand reached behind my ear, gently stroking my head. What did your brother teach you? I bowed my head and obediently replied, one must be honest. James held my neck, bent down and kissed me on the forehead. So, I have to say no. He took the glass of wine from my hand. William and Olivia had already tactfully stood aside. When will it be your turn to admit to my Benjamin family? James signaled and placed the glass on the waiter's tray. Sorry, the Benjamin family will not receive you today. Olivia and William went in one car. James and I went in another car. Actually, I still haven't woken up from that public kiss just now. Dreamily, he raised his hand to touch his forehead, as if that place still retained the warmth from James's lips, ambiguous but also extremely dangerous, hiding a secret but revealing it to everyone. James, what did you mean just now? James held the steering wheel with one hand. The other hand reached over and clasped mine tightly. While waiting at the red light, it kissed the back of my hand. I mean, I love you. My mind was as noisy as a TV with static because of these words. Are you kidding me? James's eyes sparkled like 1,000 stars looking at me for a long time. Since I didn't want to hear you call me brother anymore, I knew I was falling. James is 5 years older than me. After he turned 18, he suddenly stopped being happy when I called him brother. He almost half forced, half coaxed me to change the way he addressed me. Extremely dark scenes from the past flashed through my mind. James loves to pinch my ears. This intimate act can always soothe my emotions. Emily, call my name. I did not understand, so I asked him why he answered like that. Back then? Hep bleated softly. Soft, lazy voice. My brother usually takes care of Mess so much, shouldn't I pamper him a little too? Few people know that under James's gentle appearance sometimes hides a crazy streak. Like then, like now. I gradually realized that feeling was called possessiveness. Even though he always put himself in a harmless, humble position, I was still fascinated by his words. Jamisha has always been the one in control. He set a trap and coaxed me to jump in. But didn't you go abroad to pursue another girl? James fell silent. I seemed to understand something and asked if the two of them had intentionally leaked the news. James did not reply. When he got home, he led me into the room. As soon as the door closed, he pressed me against the wall, holding me tightly in his arms, unable to move. Emily knows me went abroad to pursue another girl. What do you think? All these years, have you ever thought of me? This is probably the first time since James returned home. He opened up to me completely. Can I have a hug? He didn't wait for me to reply. He expressed his feelings himself. I miss you so much. James's breath wrapped around me. He buried his head in my neck, almost greedily holding me close. I instinctively reached out to hug him and then realized his back was stiff. James, what's wrong with your back? Without waiting for him to explain, my actions were faster than my mind. I pushed him away and went behind him, removing everything that was in the way. His back was covered in bruises and scabs. It rumbled as I touched it with my finger. James became more tense because of my touch. Don't move, I stopped him from turning. Did Dad hit you? Old memories flooded back like a tide, James's weak gait, Father's angry face, and Mother's tired eyes. Because of me, James's voice echoed in the quiet space, especially gentle, seemingly carrying a hint of laughter. Emily, do you also feel a little sorry for me? He let out a deep breath, as if relieved. At that moment, he felt so disgusting. His tone was calm, revealing the most intimate and ugly secrets of his love, revealing the weakness within. But loving you is a beautiful thing. From the moment, I clearly realized that I liked you. Until now, I have never regretted it. At first, he was really concerned. After I was born, my 5-year-old brother James took the initiative to take care of me, to the point that the first word I knew was not mom and dad, but older brother. I watched him gesture. When you was born, you was just a tiny, soft, fragrant lump. Since I was 5 years old, I wanted to take care of you for the rest of my life. He confirmed it many times. Emily. My parents were very disappointed in me. Sent me abroad, and I saw a psychologist for 3 years. After many times of hypnosis and suggestion from the doctor, James often fell into a state of confusion, doubting whether he was really sick. The doctor kept pressing him to answer, "Do you still like Emily?" His speech became slow, his eyes hovering in the air, unable to focus. "I don't like her." The doctor nodded in satisfaction, intending to taunty him, but heard him continue. "I love her." My parents lied to me that James was busy chasing someone else. I couldn't get in touch with him either. Just thought I was getting in the way. No girl wants your boyfriend to be a sister-crazy guy, I consoled myself. At that time, James called me the last phone call. "Emily, wait for me to come back." I choked back a reply. "Yes, I do." The other end of the line was silent for a moment. The voice hoarse. "Don't cry." James relied on that promise and persevered for 3 years. I listened with a heartache. Even though James accepted that he was sick, he never denied his love for me. How could Dad be so cruel to him? James chuckled. Knowing that his son was a monster, he was already a kind father if he didn't beat him to death. I pulled him to sit by the bed, carefully applying medicine to him. The cotton swab touched down. I heard him take a breath. I worriedly clenched my hand, not daring to touch him anymore. "I'm sorry. Let me be gentler." The corner of his lips let out a happy laugh like a feather gently brushing past my heart. Emily didn't need to worry, he just couldn't hold it in. That day when he found out that you weren't related to him by blood, he was so happy that he couldn't sleep for several nights. He sat up, grabbed my wrist, his eyes filled with stubbornness, very much like the omen of a seizure in a TV series. "Emily, what do you think? Do you find me disgusting?" His other hand touched my lips, slowly tracing the shape of my lips. "Are you afraid of me?" I silently looked at him. "James, you care so much about my thoughts. Why did you say those words to force me to be heartless?" James had no sense of morality at all. He frankly admitted that perhaps he just wanted to gain Emily's sympathy. "James, if you only had pure brotherly feelings for me, these words of mine would only bring you burden, and even sever the feelings that have existed between us for so many years. Is it really worth it?" The corners of his lips turned up slightly. "What if I don't give up and ask back? When did you break through my parents' barrier?" If my parents didn't agree with his thoughtful and calculated way of doing things, along with his thoughtful care for me, they absolutely wouldn't have said this so blatantly. "Mom gave you the jade pendant. I think you already realized that it was a pair with mine." James's demeanor was leisurely and carefree, even carrying a leisurely air. Otherwise, I wouldn't have wanted to give that jade pendant to Olivia after misunderstanding the relationship between you and her. He stared at me, not missing any small changes in my actions. "Emily, I taught you." James's fingers gently brushed across my palm. A numbing feeling like being electrocuted spread from my palm to my whole body. I suddenly realized that James seemed to be seducing me, pulling the thin blanket to cover my bare skin in a mess. Him. Facing. His smiling eyes, my face was burning. "James, what were you doing just now?" Seeing me lower my head, his other hand lifted my chin. Brother is flirting with you. I blushed. You spoiled a good girl, you scoundrel. James hummed very seriously and then kindly asked, Does Emily like a scoundrel? I lowered my head, mumbled, Who? Who likes a scoundrel? I left out the sentence, put on some shorts. Then I hurriedly ran away. When I got back to my room, I could only hear my heart pounding. I had never had that kind of thought before. But to fall so deeply into James, it turned out that it only took a very short moment. However, this incestuous feeling kept haunting me, making me very uncomfortable. Moreover, James had a very strong controlling nature, a true gentleman. Just being a little sister, I couldn't stand it. If I really nodded, I would really be finished. Lost. For a long time after that, I avoided James. School was my best hiding place. James only texted me occasionally like a very proper older brother. Until his birthday, I couldn't avoid him anymore. He was drinking with his friends, the door was open enough for me to hide. A few close friends hadn't seen each other for a long time. They chatted enthusiastically with him and often mentioned his sister. James's tone was neither salty nor bland. Which sister? The close friend felt a surge of survival and quickly defended himself. You gave me 100 guts, I wouldn't dare to go and find out about Emily. James calmly said, Have you noticed Olivia? Go away. How can your virtue be worthy of my sister? I didn't mean it. Olivia is your biological sister. Aren't you afraid that Emily will be sad when you take her back? The close friend joked, If nothing unexpected happened at that time, wouldn't the person you like be Olivia? James chuckled. The more you talk, the more outrageous it gets. I'm just curious. Is it our James brothers' love that has grown over time, or is it fate? James was silent for a long time. I was about to go in when a hand covered my mouth and pulled me into a private room next door. The cake in my hand fell to the ground, but the sound was so small that no one heard. I saw the photo. This man was my biological father, David Grace. David covered my mouth and pushed me into the chair. Good girl, we finally met. He smiled fiercely, conveniently took my handbag and took out cash from inside. What is the card password? I groaned helplessly, indicating that I could not speak. He looked mentally unstable, frowned, and slapped. Me? Asking you, are you deaf? I was slapped by him and couldn't let go of what was in my mouth. My moans grew louder. He strangled me. Shut up. Shut up. That son of a... Olivia dared to call the police to arrest me. She returned gloriously, as RH lady, and I was thrown into the closet. As for you, my biological daughter, you must have made a lot of money in the Benjamin family, right? Olivia is back, but the Benjamin family still doesn't chase you away. It seems like their feelings are very deep. Tell me, if I hold you back to threaten them, will they call the police or watch me kill you? I was gagged, unable to even negotiate. I could only watch him, take out a syringe, open the bottle cap, and suck in the medicine, resolutely pressing it into my arm. I struggled so hard that my arm was torn. It's not deadly. What's there to be afraid of? The scene before my eyes gradually became blurry. In the last moment, when consciousness completely disappeared, I only thought of myself. When I woke up, again, I was in a rented house. A glass of water was brought. My biological mother. Mia Grace leaned closer and whispered, I'll take this out for you. Don't scream. If you dare scream, I'll beat you to death. Her expression was so serious that I was scared and involuntarily shrank back. Mia Grace used a rough movement to pull the cloth out of my mouth. My mouth was so tight it hurt and I could barely close it. I asked tremblingly, Why, Mom? She heard this form of address and clearly paused, her expression softening a bit. Because I didn't raise you. Of course I don't have any feelings. Olivia is back, the Benjamin family has kicked you out, they won't spend money to redeem you. I shed tears. Mom, let's get out of here and live well together, okay? Mia Grace's eyes clearly moved as if he was wavering. Her hand touched my face. I fondly rubbed against it. Mom, stop making up stories. James Benjamin has considered you as his life all these years. Do you know he's been looking for you like crazy? David woke Mia from a dream. Cher turned to her cold look. The man came over and poured me some water to drink. The water that was not swallowed wet the clothes and made them sticky and uncomfortable. After pouring the water, David took my phone and password. I gritted my teeth. He squeezed my throat, sneered. What a soft little mouth, huh? If you're this stubborn, why don't you stuff something in and stir it up? He was like a demon from hell. Fear made me tremble non-stop. I could only say the password, watching him open the contact list. David's fingers slid through each of the Benjamin family's phone numbers, seemingly having a headache, wondering who to call. Finally, he stopped at James. "Hello." James's extremely worried voice rang out through the screen. "Emily, shh, young master. Benjamin, your sister is serving me." At that moment, I missed the chance to bite one of his fingers, and he immediately slapped me back. At that moment, I shouted into the phone, "James, are you happy now? You chased me away, wasn't it because you saw me shamelessly taking the place of the magpie? If I died, you would have to go and set off fireworks to celebrate. James is very smart. He would definitely cooperate with me. Because I am their biological daughter, I don't believe they could really kill me. But he didn't do that. Don't touch her. Tell me, what do you want?" James spoke incoherently, both angry and helpless, with Avery clear choking sound. "Don't touch her, I beg you. David is very satisfied. Within 3 days, I want to see the proof of the transfer of $100 million. I will send you the account number later and prepare a yacht for me to go abroad. When I get there, I will release her." "Oh, right. If I report it to the police, you will know," James said almost immediately. "So, I also have a condition. If Emily has even the slightest injury on her body, I will make you two live in pain for the rest of your life. David Washappy, my beloved daughter, is really worth the money. That brother of yours definitely has some pure intentions towards you, right? The corner of my mouth is still stained with blood. Will you keep your promise? What are you kidding? Without you as a hostage, wouldn't James kill me? I won't pretend anymore. Do you think James is a good person? Dad, if you release me now, you can still escape. That's right. The mainland is much safer than abroad. Half a threat, half the truth. James's gentle temperament is enough to hide a lot of truths. But there was a time when I encountered some thugs who got physical. He was furious, jerked the guy's arm until it was dislocated, then kneaded it again. Repeatedly, until the guy fainted. He really loved me. No matter how flowery my words were, David still played like a rock. "Mom, I'm your biological daughter." Mia was softer-hearted than David. After all, she had carried me for 10 months, even if she didn't raise me. She was still somewhat-ied to me. "Your father borrowed money at high interest rates. We really had no choice. Emily, I promise that once we get abroad, I will definitely let you go, okay?" The money was quickly transferred, and David's evil ambition was revealed again. "Young Master Benjamin, now I'm changing. I mean it." James gritted his teeth. "What do you want?" "I've raised Olivia for so many years, I really miss her." "Why? Don't you exchange Olivia for Emily? After all these years of friendship, I will definitely treat her well." James's voice was extremely cold. "Don't take advantage of the situation. If you say one more word, don't even think about going abroad." David burst out laughing so hard that he coughed. "See, my daughter? Just talking about exchanging his biological sister made him panic. Anyway, people have blood ties. Luckily, my child is a commoner, a commodity that can be bought with money. In the eyes of young Master Benjamin, you are just a kitten or a dog. Oh, speaking of which, young Master Benjamin actually owes me a thank you." David brought the phone closer to me, his tone teasing. If it weren't for my calculations that year, the person that young Master Benjamin loved might have been his own sister. He held the cigarette between 2 fingers and pressed the tip against my collarbone. The burning burn made them immediately break out in a cold sweat, letting out a cry of pain. James immediately became extremely tense. "What did you do to her?" David smiled and gestured to me. "Say it." I tried to suppress the pain and steady my breathing. "James, although I don't know how many days late it is, I still want to send you a belated happy birthday. I had prepared a birthday present for you that day. I have a feeling I might never see him again." Tears welled up in the corners of my eyes. I took a deep breath and continued speaking. "But luckily I don't really like cake and you don't make it well." "James, I'm sorry," I thought to myself. Sorry for making Olivia suffer for so many years. Sorry for disturbing the peaceful life of the Benjamin family and making everyone worry. Sorry for making you try your best, but only get a heartbreaking ending. Are you done talking?" David hung up the phone without hesitation, cutting off James and I from 2 different worlds. A day later, I was taken to the cruise ship. David carefully ordered me auto-check every corner to see if anyone was hiding. Reality proves that James really did not report to the police. We crossed the border peacefully, preparing to leave another small island for another country. At the moment of reaching the shore, I escaped the rope and jumped into the sea. It was Mia who took advantage of David's inattention to cut the rope, giving me the only chance to escape. I couldn't go ashore because David was definitely looking for me, but I couldn't swim back either. Until the last bit of strength was gone, I let myself sink to the bottom of the water. The jade pendant hanging around the neck floated because of the buoyancy of the water. I held it tightly in my palm and closed my eyes. James, I can't wait for you anymore. James, happy birthday. But when my consciousness was hazy, I felt someone hugging my waist. He pressed his lips against mine, giving me the breath of life. Then my nightmare ended at the bottom of the sea. I seem to have seen me a lot. In my daze, I felt like someone was always staring at me. That look was completely different from David's terrible look. It was a look filled with goodwill, filled with love. The story of Snow White awakening by true love's kiss sounds far-fetched. But I really opened my eyes in James's kiss. I don't know how long he stayed up watching me, but his eyes were red. Emily, you scared me to death. When I was unconscious, he kissed me, but when I opened my eyes, James even had difficulty hugging me. He gently hugged me, as if he was hugging a fragile glass statue, painful tears falling down. Quickly soaked my hospital gown. How did you find me? He said nothing. I obediently buried myself in his arms, breathing in his comforting scent. Did you put a tracking device in that jade pendant? James's lips pressed against the wound on my neck, gently caressing it with my tongue, soothing my pain in the simplest way. Not only that, his hands were shaking with grief. My buttons, my jewelry, my bag, my phone are all there. James was very nervous, so nervous that his breathing was erratic. Your brother is sick. Emily, don't be afraid. Just give him a little love. I will get well. I don't know how much he pretends. I lifted his face up, carefully examining his long, curved eyelashes. Each eyelash is long and just right for me taste. His lips were so pale that one couldn't help but wonder if these lips would turn red if they were kissed wildly. So I couldn't help myself, couldn't control myself, and kissed him, and was seduced by his beauty. I very proactively, gently tasted the softness between his lips. James is very indulgent, letting me stir up his reason. How long we kissed, I'm not sure. After I finished, I leaned against his chest, breathing heavily. I heard him ask me, "What does this mean? What did your brother teach you? To be an honest person?" I whispered, "I mean, I love you. But he's taking advantage of me." "Who does Emily? Love?" I blush-loved James. What is James to Emily? Brother is wrong, think again. All me feelings can never be hidden from him. I was tightly controlled by him, so I rebelled. His hands clenched, his heart pounding like thunder. What a good wife. Emily is a good baby mine. David and Mia were arrested by police while abroad. James recorded the phone call and handed over the evidence to the police. If nothing unexpected happens, the two of them will not be able to have freedom for a very long time. I met Mia. She seemed to have aged 10 years just in a moment. Why did you choose to let me go in the end? Mia smiled wryly. Because I am a mother. I was silent for a few minutes, thank you. Does he treat the child well? James? Mia nodded, affirming that he loved his child very much. Why? Because it begged my mother not to hurt me. I stood up to leave, but heard her disappointed voice. Please apologize to Olivia on my behalf. James was leaning against the car waiting for me outside, tall, elegant, and gentle. When he got home, his parents and Olivia had prepared a table full of food. To congratulate me on overcoming the disaster and having good fortune in the future. Olivia curiously asked, how did his brother convince his parents? My mother let out a soft hum. The rain soaked in slowly. I woke up, so the last person to be seduced was me? James, aren't you too confident in yourself? My father agrees. Go away. That overconfident man is really annoying. James fought alone, taking on one enemy at a time. Dad, just tell me, is this melon that was forced to be picked sweet? Actually, my father felt quite sorry for James, saying that his attitude that year was too harsh, forcing his son to see a psychologist, almost causing him to go bankrupt. It was a bit difficult, but fortunately the two of them agreed, and then found his sister back. To me, those hardships were nothing. My mother was livid, and she's still scared now. If I really liked my own sister, then the reputation of our Benjamin family would really be wiped out. This was the third time James did not answer that question directly. My heart felt a little tight, probably the after effects of jumping into the sea. He had my things moved out early. The one who strikes first is the strong one. Act first and report later, pulling me into his territory. The new house was perfect for me, except for Aman, who climbed into bed at night. Are you wearing nothing? I held his hand. Why wear it when going to sleep? James lowered his voice and asked me, Were you scared at that time? The dim light of the nightlight shone into his eyes, making them even more profound. I'm afraid I haven't had time to tell you I like you. James was extremely patient with me and gently asked, What now? I immediately grabbed his sleeve, also afraid I could not bear it. Ha ha! His hand slid down to her waist, moving to the danger zone. I gasped for breath, my eyes filled with tears. You answer that question first. James intentionally rubbed his finger there. What question? Emily must speak clearly. Did your brother teach you? Say what you want. James, if at that time he had leaned closer and gently bit my lips as a small punishment, he wouldn't have. James's answer was very clear. To be exact, he was not a person who was crazy about his sister, he simply loved Emily. I'm still sobbing. This feeling is like being ripped apart. James tried to hold back. Why was the top crying, and the bottom crying too? He kept comforting me, kept finding the point that would make me relax. Emily call. James is wrong. He was nailed so deeply that he could not move. No up, no down, the itching feeling never stops. Brother-in-law, husband, I have called everyone. Look closely at what we are doing. My thoughts are shattered. We are making love. He rewarded me with a few thrusts. What does Emily want your brother to do now? I was forced to learn a lot of nonsense words and tried to suppress my shame to say, them. Can you say that again? The second half, I had no strength left. Almost all of it was him talking. Emily, don't be shy. You are beautiful like this. Good girl, good job. Why are you shaking like this? Through a layer of separation, he felt. Every wave of heat, he sank deep into the root. Good baby, brother loves you. He didn't let me call him brother before, but now that he's me, he's especially fond of this form of address. It was clearly me who fell into the water, but it seemed like he was the one with PTSD. I am really heartbroken for the 3 years he spent abroad. Every time he gets emotional, the love in his eyes is transmitted. I can see the stubborn and weak brother of the past. But he took advantage of my softness to make unreasonable demands. I'm busy with my graduation project every day, and I also have to deal with his burning desire. It's really unbearable. Emily, where are you going? James has been on a business trip for the past 2 days and has called Olivia to keep me company. She hugged my suitcase tightly, refusing to let go. She was more impatient than anyone. If he comes home and doesn't see her, he'll go crazy. Very good. Olivia had just returned not long ago and had already noticed James's unusual need for me. Sister-in-law, sister-in-law. Olivia was afraid of being assassinated by his own brother. Emily, if I leave, how can you live? I'd rather hang myself in this house. 2 days later, my waist was still sore and my legs were weak. I said expressionlessly, I suddenly don't want to be my own sister-in-law anymore. Get out of the way. When he comes back, I won't be able to run away. Olivia, you understand me. Doing a graduation project is really miserable. Olivia's eyes moved, but I interrupted her without any buts. A wise man does not go far into the province. Alone he will study for a master's or doctorate. Her eyebrows furrowed. But my brother was behind you. My whole body stiffened, feeling the breath of the person behind me, approaching. Olivia immediately ran away. Bless yourself, James's voice was warm like a spring breeze. You can run away, but you can't run away from the household registration book. Years of experience with him told me that James was calmly crazy. He loosened his tie and pressed me against the bed. The long and painful battle. Until it was dark, even meals were eaten in bed. He even ate me while eating. Emily said I will never leave you. I never will. Leave me, James licked me earlobe, each word clearly not leaving anyone. James, he gently ordered, speak it all at once. Emily will never leave. James. James contentedly bit my lips and rubbed them. His gentle eyes looked at me, full of possessiveness. My nerves were constantly stretched, enjoying this joy, tasting every bit of pleasure rising to Thesky, until it accumulated into small streams and slid down. I have a disease that is not less serious than James's. He got me hooked. James proposed to me on graduation day. The household registration issue has been resolved long ago. He was eager to have our names together on the marriage certificate. Olivia heard the news from somewhere and thanked me for helping her win the scholarship in the past. She mysteriously told me that tonight the Vale family will send Selina Vale to apologize. Sure enough, Selina appeared at my house with a face that no longer had any regrets about life. Recently, her house has been tightly controlled by James, refusing to let go. I'm sorry, Emily. I shouldn't have embarrassed you in front of so many people. I thought to myself that this damn arrogant girl couldn't bow her head easily. What did James say to her before? She looked complicated. He said not to swear in front of my wife, but I was only 15 years old then. Selena's eyes fell. On my neck, he sighed. James is really not human. It's still hard to say who isn't actually human. Later, William finally brought the beauty home. He and Olivia were inseparable. The atmosphere of budding love was so pure that people just wanted to ship it. Only this James is so dissolute and shameless. His beautiful first love turned into a mistake that cannot be made public. Olivia talking to me on the phone about coming home for dinner tomorrow night. Isn't your brother with you? I turned on the speakerphone, and the voice naturally entered the ears of the man massaging my waist. My voice is still a little hoarse. No problem, she stammered. Today the maid was cleaning and found something on his bedside table. I raised an eyebrow. Is it a wiretap? Olivia was surprised. You guessed it? James's movements did not stop, seemingly not feeling uncomfortable at all when this matter was discovered. I stood up, walked over and sat on top of him. Don't mind it, just leave it there. Olivia on the other side was silent for a moment. Brother, won't he have perverted tendencies? I touched James's eyes filled with deep love. That place contains years of infatuation, warmly enveloping my heart. He is so good, I love him so much. During the years he was abroad, he could only persevere through it thanks to my voice. And even though I don't understand what he means, I know he's always there. Olivia seemed to have just discovered the key point, and said in surprise, No? You two are truly a match made in heaven. One is willing to fight, one is willing to endure. She quickly hung up. Sulan rubbed my head. If you don't give Meanie feedback, I'm afraid it will be very difficult for me to survive. He has no way to contact me. I can't contact him either. After 3 years of separation, the relationship is still as good as before, mostly thanks to me. Ever since I discovered the wiretapping device, I've become more talkative. As long as I'm at home, I'll talk nonstop to let James understand every bit of my life. James held me down and pressed down, her tone cheerful. It must be you? I'm a little uncomfortable, just based on your criminal record of installing GPS devices everywhere. It's hard for me not to think it's you. He pondered for a moment. So why couldn't I guess your feelings for me? James, at that time you were your real sister. Aren't you afraid of losing your life if you guess like that? He lowered his eyes when he picked up Olivia. Were you sad? Especially sad. I buried myself in his arms because I was afraid that my parents would hate me, and he would also think I was a thief. James actually didn't think that I could survive. At that time, I thought that my existence would make the Benjamin family unhappy. If I died in that sea, it would be considered an apology to Olivia. James didn't let me say anything more. You are a gift that God gave to my brother. He didn't have much affection for Olivia. He mainly did everything out of conscience. William clicked his tongue lightly. Raising a sister and raising a wife are really different, huh? I reflexively wanted to hit him, but suddenly remembered that he had blocked a glass of wine for me. I pretended that nothing happened and lowered my hand. Thank you for that glass of wine. William rubbed the tip of his nose. No way. I was near you at that time. You know? So what? The first glass I didn't have time to react, but if the second glass couldn't handle it either, William smiled gently. Mr. James would kill me. In fact, James pretending to love Olivia turned out to be useless. The whole world knew how much he loved Emily. The story ended here. Thank you for listening and following. Don't forget to subscribe and ring the bell to receive notifications of the latest stories.